Good morning, children. Before starting, let me introduce myself. My name is Mrs. Titiksha Amir Joshi, and I will be teaching you science subject. Okay, as we are new to each other, we will first introduce ourselves. But we are a science student. So, as I am unaware of your hobbies, your likes, your dislikes, I'll give you a small home assignment today. You have to submit this assignment as we finish our chapter, that is lesson number 7, diversity in living organism. So, how you will introduce yourself? You will tell your name, your standard, your parents' name, your surname, and then you have to write down the favorite 3 animals, 3 plants, and 3 birds. After you finish listing down your favorites, you will have to classify them. Okay, so classify them. How you will classify it? So, to classify the animals, plants, and birds, you need to study them. So, today we will learn the chapter 7, that is diversity in living organisms. So, what is diversity? The word diversity means diverse, that is, there is a different things in one organism. That is, more and more species are there in one living organism. Okay, then take a consideration, that is, if this whole earth is just full of only human beings, what do you feel then? Everywhere there are only human beings, only human beings. It seems so bored, right? So you need some diversity. So that's why we are learning this diversity in living organisms. Okay. So next example I will give you is, consider that you have some cows. You see some herd of cows. In that there are some desi cows and there are some Jersey cows in it. How did you know that they are Jersey cow and they are desi cows? Just by the physical appearance? Right. So, what are these physical appearances on which you have based or you have judged them that this is a desi cow and this is a Jersey cow? Right. So, now we will see on which basis this classification is done by you. But before starting, we will go through some terms, or there is a process in which we have to follow some rules or some procedure. So firstly we will see what is classification. So classification is a process of grouping of organism into categories based on easily observable characters. That is, what did you do now? You just saw the cows and you, that is, observed characters, and so you classified that this is a desi cow and that is a Jersey cow. Okay, so next our definition is taxon, scientific term for any unit used in the science of biological classification is called taxon. That is, any of the unit which we use, we will further study what is taxon. Okay, so you studied the cell is a functional unit of the body. That is, so taxon is also a term or a unit used in a science in the world of classification. Now, what is taxonomy? Taxa is class. So, taxonomy is the science of defining groups of biological organisms on the basis of shared characteristics and giving names to those groups. As we have naming ceremony, the same the plants, animals, birds, all the living organisms have their naming ceremony, and this naming ceremony is known as taxonomy. The study of naming ceremony is known as taxonomy. Nomi is nomenclature and taxa is class. So who is the father of this taxonomy? Means who invented this? Who gave the names to them? That is Carl's Linnaeus. That is Carolus Linnaeus is regarded as father of taxonomy. So what is the procedure of taxonomy? First is characterization. That is what all characters are present in this living organism. Then we have to identify them. That is this characteristic present in this organism? Next step is classify them. That is we have to classify it. Like this is a Desi and this is a Jersey. So we did their classification. And then there is nomenclature. Means you have to name them. So this is the process. Okay. So you know the process of classification. But on what basis you are doing this classification? The scientist, that is H. Whittaker, gave the five kingdom system of classification, and on this basis we have done the classification. The first organizational level is the prokaryotic versus eukaryotic structure of cells. The second basis is unicellular versus multicellular or multinucleate organization. And the third is modes of nutrition. That is by photosynthesis, absorption from the environment and ingestion. We will see it in detail now. Okay. The first step was characterization. So what is characteristic? Okay. Do you see the pictures down there? Two pictures are there, right? When trying to classify a diverse group of organisms, finding ways in which some of them are similar enough to be thought of together is the easiest. Means characteristic mean a particular form or a function. You can see the human hands there. They have the 5 fingers. All the animals have 5 fingers? No. Only humans or the monkeys or the apes which have the 5 fingers. So you are grouping them. The humans have the 5 fingers. So on which characteristic? That is a particular function or particular structure, a particular form of a body. You are defining it as a characteristic. So let us see the first characteristic now. First we see that eukaryotic cell. A eukaryotic cell. So what are eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic means true. Eu means true and karyon is nucleus. A cell which has a true nucleus. True nucleus means the nucleus has a cell wall. So an eukaryotic cell has membrane bound organelles including a nucleus which allows cellular process to be carried out easily. Organisms which do not have clearly demonstrated nucleus need not have their biochemical practices always organized. This would affect every aspect of a cell design. Means the first characteristic to classify is whether the animal or whether the living organism is a eukaryotic or a prokaryotic. Pro means that is very primitive. It does not have a cell wall to the nucleus. That is, nucleus is without the nuclear wall. So the first characteristic is about whether it is a eukaryotic cell or prokaryotic cell. Second characteristic is cells that group together to form a single organism use the principle of division of labor. In such a cell type, all the cells wouldn't be identical. The group of cells will carry out specialized functions. Okay, see the example here, that is amoeba and a worm. In amoeba, what it is doing? It is a single cellular animal. So all the functions are done in a single cell. But what about a worm? Is there only one cell? No. Many cells come together to form a function and then they work out for the typical function. So the cells which come together are of identical form. So this is the characteristic number 2. That is whether it is a single cell or it is a combination or a form, or they form together a number of cells. Next is a third characteristic is some organism can produce their own food like plants, the other cannot produce their own food and depend on the environment they live in for the food, like lion, tiger, zebra. The organisms which can produce food are more organized and complex than the ones who cannot produce food on their own. That is, the third characteristic is whether the living organism can produce their own food or they cannot produce. If they are producing, their living organism system will be more organized and more complex. Next fourth characteristic is there are different ways in which some animals' body organs develop faster or more complexly from the other animals. There are also some special organs for a particular function in some animals. That is, you can see the examples like cheetah and consider an example of dog. Can you compare both of the running speed in them? No. Does why it is? Because cheetah's legs has the strong muscles which show contraction and relaxation speed, and in dog there are no such muscles, or the muscles are present but they are not so strong to give them the speed. So these are the 4 characteristics on which we can classify. Now these are the characteristics. One more concept is evolution. What is evolution? Evolution means we came from monkeys. Where did these monkeys come from? Were all the monkeys were standing on the 2 legs? No. They all evolved. That is, some body characteristics were changing from time to time to evolve till the human being. So all the classification is done on the basis of this evolution. All living things are categorized on the basis of their body design and function. Once a certain body design comes into existence, it will shape the effects of all other subsequent body designs. There is an important role of time in change of characteristics. As I have told you that as the time goes on, the characteristics also changes and develops according to the environment. The classification of life forms are closely related to this evolution. And now we come to the definition is evolution means accumulation of the changes in the body design which allow the organism to survive better in its surroundings. So the evolution is all the characteristics which are present in the living organisms are changed according to the surrounding which allows them to survive in the environment. And this evolution is bestly designed by Charles Darwin in his book The Origin of Species. You can see the book over here, The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. Okay, so on the basis of the accumulation of these changes, the organisms were classified as primitive and the advanced. So what are the primitive organisms? The primitive organisms had a simple body organization, and advanced one has complex body organization, many cells, many functions. In primitive, they were ancient body design. There were no more needs, so no more organs to survive. In advanced, the recent body design which we see around us are the advanced one. And primitive, they can be placed at the first ladder of evolutionary scale, that is at the basic level. And in the advanced we can place them at the uppermost ladder, that is the last scale. Primitive means older and older, advanced means younger. So these are the points which you can remember what is primitive organisms and advanced organism according to the evolution. Now this concept is there in your textbook, like biodiversity in the column. The term biodiversity, that is biological diversity. Bio means life and diversity means difference. So biodiversity means the richness and variety of life. Of what variety? The species variety, the generic variety, and the ecosystem variety. Okay. So we have all of the types of varieties around us, many diversities around us. So now we have to classify them. Many of the scientists tried this classification. Let us see the summary of kingdom classifications. Firstly came the Linnaeus in 1735. He did the two kingdom classification. Only Vegetabilia and Animalia. These two kingdoms were formed by him. But he found afterwards the Haeckel in 1866 found some small living organisms which were very small. They cannot be placed into the Vegetabilia also and Animalia also. So he founded the another one kingdom, that is Protista. Next came Chatham. He ignored all three kingdoms and he just found out only two kingdoms, that is prokaryote and eukaryote. Okay. Next came Copeland. He found out again four kingdoms in Monera, Protista, and Plantae and Animalia. Eukaryote gone. Okay. Now came Whittaker. In 1969, he found out five kingdoms, and this was the man whose kingdom classification is followed till now. That is Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. And in 1977 came the Woos. The Woos find out in Monera there are again two sub-kingdoms, that is Eubacteria and Archibacteria. And then Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Okay, he agreed with the Whittaker that okay, I will keep your kingdoms as it is and I will just split the Monera into Eubacteria and Archibacteria. Okay, so these were the 6 kingdoms. Next, again in Woos, he found out 3 domains. Domains means larger group. So Monera was kept into the bacteria, and this Protista, fungi, they were kept into the Archie, and Plantae and Animalia were kept into the Eukaryote. Okay, and these all the classifications who carried out, you can see the pictures down there who were these great men. First is the Ernest Haeckel, second is the Robert Whittaker, and third is the Woos. Okay, so we are not interested in all the classification, we will just study the 5 kingdom classification. Okay, so 5 kingdom classification consists of the 5 kingdoms. So before starting the kingdoms, we have to see some hierarchy of classification. So what is hierarchy? Hierarchy means just see the steps of your homes. Okay, look at the steps. How are they? Either they are in increasing order or they are in decreasing order. So the same way all the scientists considered this classification as to keep the hierarchy, that is from smaller to bigger and bigger to smaller. You can see here the hierarchical classification. It consists of kingdom, that is the bigger ones, greater, smaller than kingdom is phylum, then the class, then order, family, genus, and species. At the right side of that diagram, you can see the example. Kingdom, this is the classification of human being, the present human being. The kingdom is Animalia, phylum is Chordate, class is mammal, order is primate, family is hominids, genus is Homo, and species is Homo sapiens. And the species is the basic unit of classification. As cell is the basic unit of body, that is species is the basic unit of classification. Okay, you have to remember this order. So how you will remember this? Can you see the sentence over there? Keep pond clean or fish get spoiled. Easier to remember. You can see the red alphabets. K for kingdom, P for phylum, C for class, O for order, F for family, G for genus, and S for species. So just remember this sentence. Keep pond clean or fish get spoiled. Easier to remember this? Please learn this sentence. I'll repeat again. Keep pond clean or fish get spoiled. Okay. So now we will turn towards our 5 kingdom classification. The 5 kingdom classification by Whittaker was Monera, Protista, Plantae, yes, plants, that is Plantae, fungi, and Animalia. So how you will learn this? Again you have to learn and remember the names. So there is again a sentence down here, that is Monday project is fun, play, art. I'll repeat again. Monday project is fun, play, art. You can see the red alphabets. M is for Monera, P Protista, F fungi, P Plantae, and A is Animalia. Easier to remember? Good. Okay. So in detail we have to study this all the kingdoms. So we will study this all the details of kingdoms in our next lecture. Thank you children.